Night City is populated by many wonderful and interesting personalities. Here you have rich musicians, influential clans and corporations, mercenaries and those who are just trying to survive in this difficult time. Someone gets glory, someone becomes a legend, and someone is destined to die in an attempt to get it all. And there are those who lose all their loved ones in this city. One of these characters will be discussed. Namely, about the specialist in braiding and the cutest bun in Cyberpunk, Judy Alvarez. Judy is a minor character with whom a romantic line is possible. However, it's not so easy to start an affair with her. For this you need to play for the female version of V and have a female voice, since Judy is only interested in girls. She is a very talented braidance specialist as well as a technician. Judy grew up in a small town near Night City called Laguna Bend. She never saw her father, and her mother died when Judy was still very young. Because of this she does not remember her at all. Raised by grandparents. This affected the attitude of her peers towards her, and many simply joked about her, calling her an orphan. But Judy herself was not an angel, and even was, as she says, sometimes cruel. So, for example, she stole a doll from one girl and hid it, thereby trying to attract attention. Unfortunately, the girl did not find her doll, and we can find her in the flooded city. From childhood memories, it can also be assumed that she was mostly friends with boys, who apparently liked Judy very much, but she unhappily friend-zoned them, since even then she was more interested in girls. Her childhood was not the most pleasant, but unfortunately it will not get any better. A certain organization decides to build a dam. Because of this, it was decided to flood the entire city. It was after this situation that Judy began to develop a hatred for corporations. As a result, she had to move to Night City itself, along with her grandparents. But they did not stay there for long, because they hated this city, and eventually moved to Oregon, leaving Judy with a rented apartment. In fact, this is where she now lives. In Night City, Judy worked at a nightclub called The Clouds, which is famous for its dolls. Here you can touch on Judy's activities a little. Even in childhood, thanks to her grandfather, a technician, she found her calling. And now, working in The Clouds, she edits virtuals for dolls. However, having quarreled with the head, she has to resign from there. After that, Judy joins the Rogues and makes braidances for them, in which she is very successful and, moreover, feels satisfaction from her work. She also believes that rogues are able to change this city. Through her work in The Clouds, she meets many people, some of whom become very close to her in the future. This is Maiko Maeda, the unofficial boss in The Clouds, used to be a doll, and Evelina Parker, who also worked there as a doll. Maiko was someone Judy once had a crush on, but her sympathy for her lasted until she realized what Maiko really was. Evelina is Judy's best friend, but given that Judy is girls and how much she was worried about Evelyn, I can assume that the relationship there was not only friendly. It is possible that Judy had the same sympathy for her as for Maiko, but this is not explicitly stated in the game. Judy herself says that by making friends with Evelina, you become attached to her forever. And it would seem that everything is fine with her, a stable job that she loves, friends, but this city is too cruel and will not leave anyone happy. Judy begins to lose loved ones. First, after an unsuccessful mission, Evelina disappears. And then she helps V find her, as she is very worried about her friend. But trouble does not go away alone. When Judy goes shopping, Evelina decides to end her misery, and when she comes home, she sees her dead friend. Of course, she has to call V, since there is no one else. Next, we can see Judy's elaborate range of emotions. She is very bad and sad because of the death of a loved one, and at the same time, through tears, she manages to get angry at the police. This moment shows her character very well. Judy is one of those who are for justice and therefore decides to overthrow the leadership of the Cloud, so that such a thing as with Evelina will never happen to any doll again. All these joint tasks brought V and Judy very close, and now she has no one closer than her. Judy decides to invite V on a date, and at the same time wants to try out one of her experiments, namely, to make joint virtuals. But the place where we arrive is not simple, but very special for her, since this is the same sunken city in which she lived. Judy says that she wanted to visit this place for a long time, but did not want to go there alone or with anyone, which hints that V is special to her. Unfortunately, the date is interrupted by V losing consciousness, but Judy miraculously saves her and pulls her out of the water. It's getting late and she offers to stay at a local house. A little later, we find her sad in the bathroom and learn that the mission to capture the cloud failed. Many were killed, including Tom, whom she also knew from the clouds. Judy is very upset, but V calms her down. All this leads to a beautiful bed scene. In the morning, V wakes up alone, and Judy sits on the pier, drinking coffee and being a little surprised, because she does not quite understand what happened last night, and does not know how serious it is for V. After learning that all this was very serious, she admits that she wanted to leave Night City, but now she will have to stay to be with her. She also shows maximum trust and gives V access to her apartment. This ends the quests with Judy, but from time to time she will write various cute letters, and then she will give V the iconic rogue shotgun. Then we are waiting only for the endings with her. But before that, I also want to pay attention to Judy's appearance and her interests. Our cute companion has a very interesting and memorable appearance, a bit like a punk, which is very similar to her fighting character. There are quite a few tattoos on Judy's body, but one of them is most interesting is the inscription "There was nothing to fear, nothing to doubt," which is the words from the song Radiohead, Pyramid Song. And this is not just a random reference, the video of the song is Judy's final quest. There are a lot of things related to water in her house. Graffiti of an octopus, a girl underwater, small sketches of men in a diving suit, posters, and even an aquarium with fish. Even when you get to her house for the first time, you can see a box with equipment for immersion in water. Apparently she really planned to visit the flooded city for a very long time. She also has a poster with an electro-punk band at her house, so we can roughly imagine that likes to listen to Judy. Now it's time for the endings. There are many of them, but only one implies a good and happy ending for this couple. In it, we leave Night City, as she wanted, and in the credits you can see a happy Judy, who apparently wanted to confess her love for V, but she called her for breakfast. This is where the story of our sweet and brave Judy ends. This video has come to an end. Thank you for subscribing to the RTV Gaming channel so as not to miss new videos.